I'm actually going to shout because this is annoying. And just begin by, again, thanking Margie, but also thanking each and every one of you. My name is Andrew Gillum. I have the real pleasure of being the mayor of Florida's capital city, Tallahassee, Florida. And I was down last week, had the real honor of marching a couple of thousand students from Florida State University over to join with students who had come from around the state to demand action from the Florida legislature around common sense gun reform. I should share with you that I got a little bit of experience battling with the NRA. They sued me for and had me in court for 2 years because I refused to repeal an ordinance in my city which simply said you cannot shoot guns in a city park. In a park just like this, the restriction, as basic as it sounds, was simply that you cannot shoot guns in city parks. And because the Florida legislature, circa 2011, allows for local government officials to be sued as individuals, we have to find our own legal counsel. We can pay a fine up to $5,000. We're responsible for paying the attorney's fees of the NRA and the folks who sue us up to $100,000. And we can be removed from office at the discretion of the governor. That's the law in the state of Florida. There's nothing else like it that goes after elected officials because of a public policy difference. So if you want to know the kind of organization that we're trying to stare down in this fight, know that they are a persistent group. Know that they don't give up easy. And what they're going to quickly learn is that neither do we. Right? That we are as persistent, that we're prepared to fight, and more importantly, that we're going to win on this issue because our position on this issue is the right issue, and it's the right position. Why? Because I don't believe, hopefully to a person, that none of us believe that weapons of war have a place on city streets. If you want to shoot a weapon of war, you should join the military, right? And local elected officials should have the ability to do what we need to do to keep our communities and the people who call our communities home safe. I don't mind sharing with you that I believe that we ought to have a ban on assault rifles. I also believe that we should ban the sale of bump stocks. I also believe that we should ban the sale of high-capacity magazines. No gun should be able to fire off 45, 60 rounds of artillery in less than 60 seconds, less than 90 seconds. For those young people who are here from Stoneman Douglas High School, and more importantly, all of the young people who right now, high schoolers, elementary school kids, students, it troubles me deeply that young people are worried about emergency drills and how to avoid an active shooter on campus. That our high school seniors, instead of worrying about who they're going to ask to prom and whether they're going to be rejected or accepted, are worried about whether or not they're going to be able to walk their halls freely, or whether that alarm might get pulled and you've got to duck and dive and hide to preserve life. I honestly thought that after what we saw happen at Sandy Hook, that was going to be it. I thought whether you were a Democrat or Republican, an NRA member or whatever, that not one of us could tolerate what it meant to see our babies' bodies be carried out of that school. And not one single federal law, not one substantive change, in spite of the political will and the political pressure, occurred in the aftermath of that at the national level. Now, Connecticut made some changes, and we hold them up as a model. But as a country, the NRA still has a strong hold on the body politics, not only in this state, but nationally. But let me tell you what I think our opportunity moment is. The difference between what happened at Sandy Hook and what took place at Marjory Stoneman is that those students at Marjory Stoneman can articulate what they think, what they feel, how passionately they feel it. You all here in Broward County, our students, are able to activate. You can walk out, you can stand up, you can demand the kind of change that unfortunately my generation and the generations before me were unable to deliver.